Hey there, I wanted to share a super quick supper with you. This is Aunt Ollie's Veggie Pizzas. It is one of the most popular posts on our website, the Giles Frontier. I'll put a different version on Modern Homestead Revival. But if you're looking for something quick and easy to put together, or you plan in advance, this is a great one. What I did earlier was I chopped up some onion, whatever was left. I had some bell peppers left, the red and green and different. I had some small ones. I cut those up in here. I even had some leftover from a freezer bag that I found that had some peppers and onions that I had used earlier in the week. Threw that in here too. So if you have leftover stuff, throw it in there. I'm also going to use some green olives. Not everybody loves green olives, and that's okay. You could leave them out, or you could do a make your own pizza deal. But this is the base that I use. It's what Aunt Ollie taught me, and we love it in our home. Now, Grant doesn't like green olives on a salad, but he likes it in the pizza, so you never know. I usually would have more than this, but this is what I have left in my jar in the refrigerator, so I'm just gonna dump it in. And that's it for the green olives. Now the green olives, they're kind of chunky here, so I'm going to break those up a little bit. And then we also have a can of black olives. I probably won't use the whole can. I'll chop those up too. I generally keep whole olives in my pantry, so I'll open those up and throw those in too. I just don't want these big chunks of green olives. I always keep a package of English muffins in the freezer. I actually keep about 3 packages in the freezer. So when they go on sale or buy one, get one free, I always get them, throw them in the freezer, because this is an excellent meal for a busy weeknight, or if I have extra kids here out in the back doing who knows whatever they're doing. Working on trucks, boating, who knows what they're doing. They're always hungry, and this is something I generally am gonna have most of these ingredients, and that's why I love this recipe. You can tailor it or just throw it all in there and go. I am also gonna use a package of Colby Jack already shredded cheese. You could use whatever you have. Cheddar, mozzarella, it doesn't matter, as long as it's cheese. If you're not doing dairy, you could do your vegan cheese, whatever you wanna do. You probably won't, maybe just use half of this, depending on how much you're gonna make. I have 2 small onions, and I would say the equivalent of a pepper and a half. As you saw, I'm just using almost 1/4 of a jar. I'll fill in with my black olives. Now this recipe is completely vegetarian, but we have also added sausage, like beef sausage, chopped up the link style, whatever I'm trying to say. Chop that up in there. That's really good too, adding the sausage. You could add tomatoes in here if you wanted to. There's no tomato sauce in these particular pizzas. And the base is actually mayonnaise. Mayonnaise is gonna be the binder that you put in here. And I would start with 1/2 cup, mix it in, and make sure. We don't want it drenching in mayonnaise. We just wanna use it as a binder to bring everything together. The seasoning that I use is Tony Chachere's Creole seasoning, and I love this stuff. We use it in a lot of different things, but it's perfect in this pizza. You've got all these vegetables. I saute the vegetables in advance before I put the olives in here. I'm gonna saute those to get them nice and soft. They don't care, my kids don't care, but I don't really like raw onions. So I saute everything before I mixed in the olives or other ingredients, just so they're a little bit tender. You're gonna cook them in the oven, but only for about 15 minutes until it's got a nice kind of golden brown on top. And I'm gonna splash in some Tony Chachere's, and that's gonna be to your taste. It can get a little spicy, but I like to have just a little bit of a kick. It gives it just a different flavor. And I'll also put in some garlic powder if I don't have garlic to mince in here. And what I'm gonna do, which also you wanna put it together over there. I do a lot of videos right here at this kind of island because I don't have a lot of counter space. When I'm doing it by myself, I'm kind of over there in the corner and there's really nowhere to put a camera over there. So I do it over here and then put it over there. So I'm going to take the English muffins. Now we're a family of 4, and this comes with 6 English muffins, which is going to give us 12 little pizza rounds, which means everybody can have 3. I usually might just eat 1 or 2, and that way the boys can share it. They usually eat way more than I do. And that way I know what 1 package can give. Now, if my nephew's over or one of the other boys, I'll do 2 packages and it'll still be gone. It doesn't matter. And I usually would use a knife to kind of get these open. You know how English muffins are. I'm gonna line the tray, and these trays, I love these particular trays. They're all gonna fit on this 1 tray, so I only have 1 tray to do. And I'll get all those fixed up, and you can join me back over at the oven when I put them together. But I just wanted to share this quick and easy recipe with you. Having all that stuff on hand, really you can throw together something pretty yummy and even tailor it to your kids, or have them do it would be great. Have them pick and choose what they want to put on their particular pizza. When I was a kid, my grandmother used to make the English muffin pizzas quite often, but she would use a tomato sauce and then let us put whatever we wanted on there. And that was simple for her. It was easy for her to pull those things out of the cabinet and just give us, you know, something to do, and then we'd have a real yummy supper. To us was yummy, to her it was just easy cleanup, right? So we'll come back and see it all loaded up as we mix it up in the bowl. Now this particular pizza recipe is something I would do earlier in the day. I would saute the onions and everything earlier. Maybe even in the morning time after I finish up breakfast, I might go ahead and get started chopping. And so that is done before I want to mix everything up, because I don't want that to be hot when I mix in the tomatoes and black olives and things like that. So that might be something I get started in the morning time, which I really try to do. Is I try to start getting ahead of my day, especially if you're doing crock pot meals, of course, or if I'm just planning out the rest of the day, dinner-wise, I'll go ahead and get stuff started in the morning time. Then I can work with the boys and then come back to it in the afternoon, and then half my work is done. So let's see how our sauteed vegetables are looking. Oh yeah, that's how I like them, right about there. The onions are a little see-through. I like that. Yeah, so we're gonna turn this off and let that cool down. So I am going to saute the onions and bell peppers in this pan until they're nice and a little bit see-through. The onions are a little bit see-through. That's how I like them. And let that cool back in my bowl before I mix in the other things. All right, so we're gonna empty about half of the bag. So if the bag is 8 ounces, we're gonna put about 4 ounces in of cheese for now. And stir that up real good. Stir that up. This is looking like it needs more cheese. Cheese is always a good thing. All right, so I'm just gonna put the whole bag of cheese in here then, that's all right. And again, we're gonna stir this up. Then we're gonna add in our mayonnaise. And I'm just gonna eyeball about half a cup to start with, because we really don't want too much mayonnaise. We really just want it to bind it all together, kind of hold it together when we get it on the English muffin. And that's pretty good. I think I'm going to add just a little bit more. Now, I had a jar of pesto, so I'm going to add a little bit of pesto in there just to give it a little bit more flavor. That's probably going to maybe end this jar of pesto. And we'll mix that with the mayonnaise, and then I'll mix it in the rest of our mixture. Oh, yeah. Aunt Ollie would be proud. So our mixture is done. Now all we have to do is scoop it on the English muffins. We are ready to finish the Aunt Ollie's pizzas for supper. I've been in the kitchen most of the day, so I wanted to do something quick that I'd have quick and easy cleanup, and these are definitely it. If I wanted to be even better, I could put tinfoil on the bottom, but I've already got them on my tray, so I'm not going to worry about it. So again, I have one package of English muffins on the tray split in half. We've got our mixture I've been working on, and what I'm going to do is just take a scoop and put it on. You're kind of going to have to use your fingers. And I pat it down some. Let me get one a little bit closer to you. Pat it down. And I go light on the first round, and then I come back around, because I don't want too much on one and not enough on another. So you definitely want to get in there with your hands. This is where you could have the kids come in and help. You want to come tell them what you think about what this supper's going to be?
Raging good.
You gonna come check out the ingredients, make sure I got it right? What is this called?
Aunt Ollie's Pizzas?
Aunt Ollie's Pizzas. He knows what they are. Adding sausage or ground beef. We talked about adding ground beef to it. I've already used up the ground beef I had, so we're just going vegetarian tonight. That would make it a really hearty, nice meal. So if you've got kids hanging out, I usually have nephews or friends' kids hanging out, and it's always nice to have these put together to feed a crowd. And, you know, I can always, generally what I do is I wait till the end to eat to make sure everybody gets enough, because I can always grab anything. It doesn't matter what I eat. I just want to make sure my people get fed. And it seemed like I had a lot left, but now as I go back around, I want to make sure I have enough on here. I could probably squeak out one or two more if I wanted. So I think I'm just going to put this in a Tupperware or something like that, and maybe have a quick lunch tomorrow for me or one of the boys, whoever's home. That would be a nice quick lunch. They could just throw it on a piece of bread and stick it in the oven, and there you go, quick lunch. So that is this is what it looks like before the oven. I am going to stick some tinfoil on this and set it on the stove, because it'll be about 45 minutes before I'm ready to stick it in the oven. Then I will bake them at about 375 for 15 minutes. I'll check it. Usually go about 20, because I want that top to be nice and golden brown. And let it set for just a minute, or else you will burn the bejeebers out of your hands. Anyone trying to eat it like that. So now you've got Aunt Ollie's secret, I call it, a veggie pizza recipe with many variations. This is our simplest one. Great put together meal with hands-on ingredients that I can just pull out of the cabinet anytime. and everybody loves it no matter what. So I hope you enjoy it. If you've got kids hanging out, I usually have nephews or friends' kids hanging out, and it's always nice to have these put together to feed a crowd. I could probably squeak out 1 or 2 more if I wanted. So I think I'm just gonna put this in a Tupperware or something like that, and maybe have a quick lunch tomorrow for me or one of the boys, whoever's home. That would be a nice quick lunch. They could just throw it on a piece of bread and stick it in the oven, and there you go, quick lunch. So that is this is what it looks like before the oven. I am going to stick some tin foil on this and set it on the stove, because it'll be about 45 minutes before I'm ready to stick it in the oven. Then I will bake them at about 375 for 15 minutes. I'll check it. Usually go about 20 because I want that top to be nice and golden brown. And let it set for just a minute, or else you will burn the bejeebers out of your hands. Anyone trying to eat it like that. So now you've got Aunt Ollie's secret, I call it, a veggie pizza recipe with many variations. This is our simplest one. Great put together meal with hands-on ingredients that I can just pull out of the cabinet anytime, and everybody loves it no matter what. So I hope you enjoy it.